I see my task as uniting the ANC. Before President Zuma resigned, there were those who were saying, you are a weak president. Why haven't you kicked President Zuma out? Why haven't you dealt with him? And I said I would rather be seen as the weak president than to split the ANC, because that is not my mission. My mission is to keep the ANC united.
You have that? You have that, Steve Obo, as they call you, would rather be seen as a weak president than to split the ANC, because that is not my mission. My mission is to keep the ANC united. End quote from President Cyril Ramaphosa. So Stephen Grootes, known as Steve Obo by some of the former colleagues on 702, I think he also moved to SABC, now is on Newsroom South Africa. Yeah, I said it. He's also from Africa. He wrote an article titled Ramaphosa's brand new line in the sand, country before party, stating that Cyril Ramaphosa is putting South Africa before the African National Congress, as opposed to the former president, Jacob Zuma, saying that he's putting ANC first. So his article is like a brilliant public relation for President Cyril Ramaphosa, except that Cyril has just said the same thing that President Jacob Zuma is saying, okay? And that is Stephen Grootes, his article on the 28th of September. Listen to this. President Cyril Ramaphosa has taken action against Defense Minister Nosiviwe Mapisa-Nqakula over the incident in which an SANDF plane was used to transport an ANC delegate to Zimbabwe. This appears to underscore Ramaphosa's stated belief that ANC is not more important than the nation. You hear that? So this appears to underscore Ramaphosa's stated belief that ANC is not more important than the nation. And it is the first time the president has acted against someone of such seniority within the ANC. Ramaphosa has also further sanctioned Mapisa-Nqakula by forcing her to take no salary for 3 months, during which time her paycheck will be paid to the Solidarity Fund, the benevolent one, so that it's going to the Solidarity Fund. He has also ordered her to ensure that the ANC goes through with its promise to reimburse the government for the cost of the flight and to report back to him when this is done. Okay? So now the Minister of Defense would then be responsible to make sure that the payment is to be done. But remember, who said that they're going to be making sure that the money is being paid? It's the Secretary of the ANC. Okay, he's in the top 6. Okay, together with President Cyril Ramaphosa. So you mean to tell me that the president, who is a member of the top 6, of which Ace Makashile belongs to, didn't know that the ANC's top 6 members are going to take a flight to Zim using the SANDF jet, of which President Cyril Ramaphosa, obviously the defense minister, is the subordinate to, okay? Of which is the journey that the cabinet members took to Zim to have some talk on the government side, as well as obviously with the ANC side, of which is the top 6 member. So he didn't know, and also he didn't know that they would catch a lift, you know, given the fact that the ANC is now broke. In fact, in this article of Stephen Grootes, he states that the ANC struggled to get their money, the employees struggled to get their money in just the month of August, because the last information we had that they also were having a struggle to get their money in June this year, and also struggled to get their money in time for December holidays last year. So the article continues, okay? By making such a public example of Mapisa-Nqakula, Ramaphosa may well he's sending a signal that no one in his cabinet is above the law. If he had not done so, millions of people could have ignored the regulation, potentially exposing themselves to the coronavirus. There's no similar excuse that could be made over Mapisa Ngakula's action, and the outrage from many parts of society was at a deafening level. Okay? It is also interesting to note that Mapisa Ngakula is losing 3 months worth of her salary, while Ndabeni Abrams, the minister, which the last line was basically talking about, was forced to make an apology. And here Stephen Grootes state that by taking this action, it was sending a message to South Africans that because Minister Ndabeni Abrams has flouted the lockdown rules, then this would then make the public to also adhere and say we are going to adhere to the lockdown rules. As you can see that the president has reprimanded Minister Ndabeni Abrams. So it is also interesting to note that Mapisa Ngakula is losing 3 months worth of her salary, while Ndabeni Abrams lost just 1. But Ndabeni Abrams was forced to take a special leave to effectively cease being in cabinet for a full month, while Presidency Minister Jackson Mthembu acted in her stead. This has not happened to Mapisa Ngakula, who remains in office and does not have to make such an apology. Now listen to this. Perhaps Ramaphosa, this is just an insinuation and a guess by Stephen Grootes. Perhaps Ramaphosa felt that humiliation was a step too far, or that Mapisa Ngakula should not be put through the pain of making the same kind of apology that Ndabeni Abrams was forced to do. Oh, such a sweetie. Right? I mean, you can imagine. She's a veteran, our Minister of Defense. Nosiviwe Mapisa Ngakula. She's a veteran. I mean, how long has she been in cabinet? How much money is she getting? She probably got some business deals through, if she's not having her own business now, her husband also is a huge member in government. So, I mean, 3 months would not be felt. And we're yet to see. I mean, we can give it the whole year. I can tell you that you're not going to be seeing bank statements or some sort of a legal proof that the payment has been made. How are you going to prove that their salary has been deducted? You can't prove it. Even if their salaries are being deducted, that's nothing. That's like a drop in an ocean in terms of the amount of money that they're getting, the packs that they're getting as cabinet members from Cape Town Parliament side to Pretoria, and probably the businesses that they should be having. So this is just nothing. But Steve Ovo continues. It is important to also note how the political atmosphere has changed since the era of former President Jacob Zuma. Then Mapisa Ngakula was able to use an Air Force plane to smuggle a young woman into South Africa and suffer no consequences. During the Nkandla scandal, Zuma was ordered by then Public Protector Thuli Madonsela to rebuke 3 ministers for their conduct. He simply sent them letters telling them he was required to rebuke them. Here, Ramaphosa appears to be taking action, right? So, look at it this way. So, to show you that there's no action which has been taken here, the Minister of Defense, Mrs. Ngakula, okay? Stephen Grootes here state that she smuggled, it was the girlfriend of the late son of the minister, okay? Smuggled via plane. I spoke about this on my other podcast, to SA. There were no consequences being taken. So now, here Stephen Grootes says that Zuma didn't take an action against the very same minister for flying someone, obviously illegally, to South Africa using a military plane, okay? So Zuma didn't take an action. But then, President Cyril Ramaphosa now, in this instance, has taken an action against the same minister who had now flown ANC members to Zimbabwe, the delegates, using South African National Defence Force military plane. So Cyril is taking an action, okay? Isn't it funny? How do you hire someone in the first place who you know had now illegally flown someone from, I think it was Congo to South Africa using a military plane, and then still think that that person is of a high stature and hired them, and now you've been rewarded for slapping them on the wrist with the so-called 3 months deduction of their pay salary, of which no one would ever have a proof that this is being done. Okay? So he continues. Here Ramaphosa appears to be taking action. Within the ANC, over the last few years, there has been a debate around whether the party is more important than the country, whether ANC comes first or the country comes first. This appears to have been started by Zuma when he told the KwaZulu-Natal ANC in 2015 that I think my organization, the ANC, comes first. By taking action, he's making an important point that the country does come first. I just played you a clip where essentially President Cyril Ramaphosa is saying the very same thing that President Jacob Zuma had said, but Stephen Grootes here still say there's a difference. Okay? He's making an important point that the country does come first. By taking action against a member of his cabinet in this way, Ramaphosa is making an important and fundamental point about our state and the ANC and the behavior of the people he appointed to their position. He may well hope that the precedent he is setting here will last longer than his line in the sand. And contrary to this article, then you have an article from the former employees of Stephen Grootes by Veronica Mukhwali of the EWN, simply here stating, despite the president's interventions, critics have labeled the penalty as a slap on the wrist following the damning finding against Mapisa Ngakula. The DA, Cobus Marais, said that the punishment did not fit the offense. Marais said that the president had illustrated weak leadership in holding members of his party and his executive to account. These are damning findings against the minister, and yet she only gets a slap on the wrist. We simply cannot allow the minister to get away scot-free. The DA views this transgression as a gross violation of her oath of office. The president has got no other options but to relieve her of her duties. Outer, the organization Undoing Tax Abuse, Wayne Duvenet, also weighing in on the matter. To slap her with a 3 months salary penalty and rebuke her is not enough. She should be removed from her position. It's time for cabinet reshuffle, and we believe she should not be allowed to sit in that position. Meanwhile, the Freedom Front Plus, which filed a complaint with the public protector, said that the penalty, however inadequate, served as an admission by the president that the minister's conduct was indeed unacceptable. And by the way, people are still waiting to find out what was in that report, of which the Minister of Defense had given to the president. The caucus of the ANC parliament also had seen that. They were exonerated her. The ANC plane, the judge, the jury, the defendant, and all sorts of things. The claimant. And so we'll see going forward what's going to be happening. But 10 out of 10, nothing is going to happen to the Minister of Defense. But hey, to other journalists slash opinionistas, they're saying this is such a big victory. This is so beautiful, like what Stephen Grootes had said, that it's going to also increase the rating of the president going forward. The president is so different now. He's putting country before the ANC, even though he's on record saying that his job is to save the African National Congress to have unity, and you rather be seen as a weak president. But here, Stephen Grootes says, no. Oh, those things of the past which were said and done by former President Jacob Zuma. So, see, that's just my take. Thanks for watching the Mamuji Show, and I'm out.